Thanks for the question. Just to put some, right, so what's different this year, and we know in past years we come before the City Council asking for a budget increase, some number of positions. I mean, there's always been the question of, well, you're asking for 50 positions, but you're cutting it by 25, so it's a net 25 add, right? In past years, we've had those discussions. What's different this year is that we started with a budget that was already level service. We know we had to scale it back for the reasons I mentioned earlier about student enrollment. But to be clear, no, this is not the budget we asked for.
Right.
Or we're not getting what we asked for. It's a bit different in this scenario. And the reason why we even encountered this before, and these deadlines, you're right, it's always been June by the time it's finalized. But we weren't talking about reduction in force or cutting staff. We were talking about cutting new ads. That's very, very different. So what's different here is that we started with a $15 million increase over the current fiscal year. That's a level service budget. We didn't add positions to it. And we've since cut then, respectively, expenses to nearly $3 million. Additional salary cuts of the 81 positions, nearly $5 million. Total cuts already, as of before this additional $4 million, is $7.7 million already in reductions. So I make sure we don't lose sight of the fact that we're not coming here today saying, yeah, it's only this, it's only that. This is an $11 million net impact, which is well above, right?
From the 15 million you asked for.
Right, but that's a level service. We're not talking about reducing added positions, just to be clear on that. So, yeah, we're going to have to take a little gamble on this one and trust that we're working in good faith with everybody at this room and on public camera. So we're going to have to make the transfer notifications prior to June 1st. That's required under the contract, as has been pointed out by the previous speaker. And then by June 15th, we'll hopefully have an indication on the first reading by the City Council on the second. But just to be clear one last time, that this $4 million final, which is likely 3.2 after the Chapter 70 increase, still nets out the reductions we talked about, I mentioned earlier, for Chapter 70 increase, the carryover from this year, the special education risk of transportation and translation services, in addition to the roster of the 35 staff members.
Over the 81.
Over the 81.
Okay.
So it's not like we're 81 and done. We're still talking about something up to 116. It could be lesser, depending on how much of that carryover, but let's call it between 31 and 35 positions that the school committee will have to deliberate on. Just want to make sure we're clear on the facts of the matter when we walk out of the room.
Mr. King.
The facts are the same. In past years, we could have cut the budget in the last month, too. So you have a general idea, as Phil said, what the budget's going to be. That's all you had in past Junes. You made educated decisions, I guess, to do whatever it was, because we never had a problem. I trust you'll do that again this year. But I just think we're overstating a little bit this issue of June. That's what I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. Well, I think you can read, I thought I had the floor.
You do, Mr. King.
Thank you. I think you can read the room, as Phil said. I don't know what else we can do for you. There has to be a process. So that's the same position you were in the past years. You could read the room. The overall different, maybe a little bit, in that the level of where the budget is going to end up is compared to where you were the year before. I get that, okay? But that's not a surprise to you tonight on May, whatever this is, 26th. You've known that for the last couple of months. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I think you have a pretty clear indication on May 26th where you're probably going to end up. I know you might not like it either. I appreciate that very much, but that's probably where you're going to end up.